that's what we are doing. Terry, good to see you.
And you.
Terry Kinard, ladies and gentlemen. And so Terry has a phenomenal history as a football coach and a school administrator and leadership. I know Terry from Discipleship class.
Correct.
Something called The Strand.
Yes.
And put together by a couple of people by the name of John Randalls and Zach Randalls.
Yeah, now you're allowed to use the word phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
There you go.
Phenomenal. That's it.
Yeah.
So, Terry, so years ago, when you were a young man, you got started in football. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. And quarterback coach?
Yes.
Yeah, and did some time at Baylor?
Yes.
Yeah. So before that, let's just kind of go all the way back to the origin story. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the dustiest place on the South Plains at La Mesa, Texas.
La Mesa, Texas.
But that dust makes for great cotton.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I grew up in La Mesa, and I actually didn't play football till my sixth grade year, tackle football.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, once I played it, totally sold on, man, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. And of course it was the team thing, and started learning the dynamics of teams and coaches and leadership, and still always keeping people as the number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had great coaches that always emphasized it's about y'all. It's not about the process. It's about y'all getting to accomplish the process.
Mm.
And we were talking earlier about there's a big difference in getting kids or people to do something than getting them to want to do something.
Mm.
If you can get them to want to do something, then they're going to do it to the max.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very, very lucky in that I had great godly men. I never was exposed to a lot of coaches that cussed on the field or any of that sort of thing. And they were interested in developing leaders and understanding that we're always going to be a member of a team somewhere in our life. So I was a lucky guy. Just really, really God, a lot of providence there.
You mentioned a few things. Godly men, right? Mm-hmm. Coaches, people-centered, always going to be on a team. Mm-hmm. Before that, when you're coming from your family, what was the family? What was that like? Did you have that a good?
It was interesting because there's an old concept of preacher's kids. And my dad was a pastor, and I grew up under a spotlight of having teachers and other adults telling me, "Terry, you're different. You shouldn't do that. Your dad's a preacher." Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to know why preachers' kids rebel, it's because they're held to a higher standard, and I never understood that. I just wanted to tell teachers, hey, why do I have to be different just because of what my dad does? Mm-hmm. I mean, treat me, punish me, do whatever, just like everybody else. Don't make it any harder. So, and I was 33 years old before I realized where my rebellion came from. Somewhere along in there, I should have met an adult minister's child that said, Terry, let's talk about this. Okay. But yeah, it's hard growing up being a minister's child because people automatically say you're held to a higher standard.
That's the perception of the friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're in school, the teachers and everybody.
Well, your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, your own dad tells you, hey, I'm accountable. The Bible says that if you can control your own family, how can you control a congregation or a church?
Yeah.
And but we made it through. We made it through, but kind of the hard way, I guess, for me.
The hard way. So the hard way led into football, right? So football, so the coaches.
I didn't realize I got to take out a lot of aggression. But when you're a quarterback, you don't deal out a lot of punishment.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
You're usually trying to avoid the punishment.
Right.
But being the quarterback, it puts you in a leadership role. And I was so blessed to have an 8th grade coach. His name was Lynn Ranson. And anybody who ever played for Coach Ranson feels the same as I do. But he used to take me aside and talk to me about, Terry, you want to be able to step in the huddle, and not because you're the quarterback do they do stuff you tell them to do, but you want to step into a huddle and have them want to do stuff because they've watched you work hard, and you know they're on their side. And he taught me not X's and O's. I mean, he taught us X's and O's, but he taught me about how do you motivate people. So there were times that he intentionally made me come an hour before everybody. We would go to the gym and stand in front of a volleyball net. And as he taught me how to raise the ball up and release it, and that's just about at the top of that net to get it over with a proper release. But he told me, he said, you know that everybody else knows that you're putting in an hour extra work every day. That automatically earns you a little bit of respect because they're not putting in that extra hour every day. He taught me if I throw a pass to a receiver and it's a good pass and the receiver drops it, is when the receiver comes back in the huddle in front of everybody, you go, hey, my bad, man. I'll get you a better pass next time. Because that teaches that receiver, I got his back.
Yeah.
And I take the results of the negative play. Therefore, if I ask him to do something, he's going to want to do it for me. Well, that started the whole formulation of understanding the difference between authority and influence. So, and those have been the big emphasis of my life in leadership is I never want to use my authority. There have been times when I have to. I mean, some of my best friends that have worked for me, I've had to say, you made me do this. I asked you, whatever it was, to fix that problem, and you didn't. And so now I'm coming to you and telling you, fix the problem.
Yeah.
But I always hate to be the bad guy. But it's interesting in the interviews, no matter whether it was a coach or even FCA or being a high school principal, interview people want to ask you the question, can you be the bad guy? Well, yeah, when I have to be. And let me tell you, when I'm the bad guy, I don't even like me.
Right.
Because by that time, I'm pretty angry. But there's just a big difference in people wanting to do something for you or people having to do something for you.
Right.
So that's been my focus in leadership for a long, long time.
Is influence.
What
is the role of coaching related to influence?
Okay, so let me tell you, one thing that you're always short of, the one resource you're always short of as a coach is time. Kids have other things to do besides practice, and you're limited by how long you can work out and all that sort of thing. But I always tell my assistant coaches, we want to maximize every minute that we have on the field. So, and Grant Taft at Baylor taught me this. Playing for him, coaching for him at Baylor, if you go watch a standard practice, the first thing any team does is they're going to stretch. Okay, now that's time where nobody's breathing hard, but there's a little bit of pain involved. But you're giving up 15 minutes of the time you have with them for a workout to stretch. But it's very, very important because it's your next to being strong to prevent injuries, stretching allows you to flex more for your muscles to stretch longer without a tear.
Right.
So you're out there on the field, you're laying down, you're doing all kinds of crazy things.
Right.
Well, that's 15 minutes a day. So you multiply that times 5 workouts in a week and look at that time, you could be taking advantage of it. So I learned a long time ago that I'm talking to my guys during that time about motivational type things. Okay, we're either that, or we may be talking and laughing even.
So while they're
build
working
the
on
relationship.
So while they're working on the hardware, you're working on the software.
Exactly, same thing. But it's just about maximizing time. Okay, then there's always at least one break in practice.
Okay.
Normally about 5 minutes long, maybe 2. If it's like today and you're working out, you're going to have 2 times to hydrate.
Right.
Go find a guy and spend time, one of those guys that you coach, like in your position. And during that time, you're just asking them, how's life? How are things going? But you're always building a connection with them outside of football. What we're talking about right now doesn't have anything to do with football. It's how are things at home? How are your grades? How can I help you? All that kind of stuff. How's your girlfriend?
Right.
You know, and walking out onto the field, grab a guy, put your arm around him that you coach specifically, and you talk to him all the way out there. Not about football, about other things. Same thing coming off the field. If I've had to correct a kid, I'm letting the kid know, hey, you know I wasn't angry at you. I was angry because of what you did today. And never letting the kid go in. If I've got on him during workout, don't ever let him go in thinking I'm mad at him. And it's just maximizing the amount of time you have. Because really in life, the older I get, I'm 75 years old, the older I get, the more I realize I'm running out of time.
I understand.
Time's limited.
I get it.
And time to me is everything. My wife makes fun of me because I've always been a multitasker.
Yeah.
You know, she'll ask me, why are you doing that? And I said, well, I got this over here going and I got about 5 minutes till that happens. And so I'm over here doing this. I don't know. Time is just a major resource that we take for granted.
You don't get it back.
Exactly. But in building relationships with people, particularly people that you supervise, you need to take that time.
Yeah.
I always had my staff. I mean, we would go play golf together. I always wanted to know I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
Same thing when I was at FCA, take my staff out, because so many times we're just working on whatever the work focus is. And we need to work on the relationship, our relationship. And there's just things you can do, you know, Jacob, that people need to get down and analyze, okay, in this day, what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to do? And is everything positive? And I just think you have to be intentional about everything you do.
What is that? That word is used a lot.
Intentional.
It's almost become like a modern pop psychology term.
Well, and I will tell you this. A major subject of mine is, are you proactive?
Okay.
Okay. Meaning, have I gone through and projected all the possible outcomes for this decision? Okay. If I've done that proper time, I've saved time twice. Number one, I sit there and figured out a problem before it ever happened. What are you going to do if they say this, or what are you going to do if this happens? But at the same time, when that occurs, whatever that is, you pre-planned it much earlier. So you don't waste time then saying, I got to figure out what to do. Because at that time, you're not so level-headed.
Right.
Back when you were practicing proactivity, you were level-headed. You wanted to look at, there weren't any emotions involved. You're looking at every possible outcome. So again, taking care of time, saving yourself time, being the most productive at any time is really what counts. I don't know, we all use the word resources a lot.
Right.
Okay? And a lot of people don't realize their greatest resource probably is time. And I think a hard balance a lot of time is making sure that you've got a definitive line drawn between my work and my family.
Yeah.
And I don't bring, I'm not saying I never brought work home. Sometimes I had to, but I don't bring the emotions of work home when I'm a dad or I'm a husband. Because that investment over there is just as important. If this over here with my family is not going right, I'm probably not going to be real good at my professional. So just learning that balance of time is so important. You asked me the word a minute ago. You said that word's tossed around a lot.
Yeah, intentional.
Intentional. Being proactive is intentional.
Gotcha.
You make plans before you ever need them.
So it's almost like Jack Nicklaus was, he would play the game in his head before he got to the course.
Exactly. Being intentional a lot of times means you've got to look inside yourself and say, what's the outcome I'm seeking here? What is this outcome that I'm seeking here? And again, thinking out ahead. But by looking at, what are my standards? Integrity, honesty, and trying to always keep that in mind as you deal with people, because we're all tempted to vary the truth a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And
There's
again,
a lot of fluff in
and again, relationships are the key. People, it's not processes, it's not profit. If it's not people first, then you got a problem with profit and your processes. If you keep people first, then you're intentional at everything you do, and you're empowering those people to help you figure out so much. I think the success of friendship for so long was we were a small community. The smaller the community, the more involved the teachers are in planning. Once you get 10 or 11,000 kids in your school district, you're no longer small. But that doesn't mean that you can't think small. You can't say, hey, I was lucky at Texas Tech. So I was working on my second master's degree at Texas in educational leadership. And that year, that 1 year, the educational leadership said, we're going to do an experiment here. We're going to take the world of business and we're going to study the world of business.
That's a good idea.
Who are successful businesses that have maintained success for a long time? And we're going to look and find out, why have they been successful? And they said, then we are going to create the analogy between how does this parallel school business? And it was so interesting because they made us ask the question, in education, what are our profits?
That's good.
Who are our shareholders?
That's good.
Who are, and break it down and look at it that way so we can plan differently. Well, at Friendship today, I think when you pull up to the main flag, the main office, well, used to be that's where the principal parked, the counselor, those people who first get to school, and the first teachers that get to school. And what we did was we said, if if our main investors are our parents, if they are our shareholders, then we need to block off 6 parking spaces and nobody parks there, including the principal. So these were all marked for parents only, parents only, parents only, those closest ones. And then going in and training our secretaries on how do you diffuse, an angry parent.
Customer service.
It's all about customer service. I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's everybody, I don't care if they sell products or whatever they sell. If you don't have happy customers, people aren't going to buy your product.
That's true.
And so again, it comes down to people are the most important thing. How you treat those people.
Wow.
I remember talking to a whole bunch of teachers at Friendship one day and say, if that's our customer and the customer's always right, and I got teachers looking at me, I'm going, y'all, that may not be right. Okay? But you can treat them to understand their situation. Because most of y'all are parents. And the reason they come up here is because of their child. And try to put yourself in their position and say, hey, if you were up here for that same reason with your child, how would you want to be treated?
Wow.
They may not be right, but we can treat them as if we understand why they're there and we're on their side and we want to help their kids as much as they do. It's so interesting how you can convert the world of business into education.
Right. And it worked out. What was the numbers like after that?
Are you talking about
scores and tests?
Well, let me tell you. I mean, part of what I was going to say was a whole lot of that has to do with, what brought Japan back.
Yeah.
W. Edwards Deming is incredible, and I'm going to tell you, people ought to study what he did in Japan.
The Deming Award in Japan.
Yes.
Great.
I mean, he goes back to them and he says, hey, the people who put the nuts and bolts on the wheels, they know more about
That's it.
They know more about that than the architects or the engineers. And you guys need to be listening to those people. Well, nobody ever done that before because I'm the architect, I'm the engineer, I designed it. And one of the things they did was to empower the Japanese workforce and say, hey, you see something that could be better, you have the authority to go tell your supervisor. And the supervisor has the responsibility to listen and say, maybe there's something to this. Let's go talk to the engineer. And what else they did, we're kind of getting off subject, but let me tell you, what else they did was, we're over here and we're building in World War II, when we're so behind in military. I mean, we weren't even going to fight the war, okay? And all of a sudden, we really don't have a military. We don't have the planes and the tanks and all those things. And Henry Ford said, hey, use my factories. We will produce planes, we'll do all these things. And that started the assembly line. Well, the bad thing about assembly line is, as the vehicle comes through, all I do all day long is go, deet, 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 deet. Next, deet, deet, and I do this all day long. I'm not an inspired worker. So what the Japanese did under Deming was, they had a group of 6. And a chassis comes into a factory and it's just a chassis. And that team stays with that vehicle all the way through. At the end, when it's finished, there's a brass plate back there with a number on it. That's a team. So when we go back and we talk about where did quality checked come from? Where did quality and all that stuff come from? It's that now I can track this vehicle over the next 20 years. And I can find out, why does team 117 have fewer errors than anybody else? And I go back to team 117 and I say, hey guys, what is it that y'all are doing different? Well, we just made these little, now everybody's going to do that. But it's about the people who are closest to the problem generally have the best solution for the problem.
Knowledge worker, I heard someone call it.
So when we had problems in school, we go back to the teacher.
Gotcha.
I mean, the first thing we do is we ask a parent, have you talked to the teacher?
Right.
Yeah, I did, but, you know. And we tried to teach our teachers, hey, put yourself in their shoes, empathize with them. If you have children, how would you want to be treated if that was your child in this problem? So even with curriculum at Friendship, all the elementaries, the different elementaries would come up with suggestions to tweak curriculum. Then representatives of those elementaries would get together and they would come up with some common, because we wanted all the elementaries doing the same thing, because it's unfair to kids. If these kids are going to this middle school and these kids are going to this middle school and they were taught different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happens if this parent moves over into that side and now they weren't? So our teachers came to work feeling, I am important. Yes. I'm listened to. And I will tell you, people will work for less money if they feel a part of something larger.
That's true.
That they feel I have a, sorry, I didn't turn the phone off.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, if I have say, if I'm a part of the solutions here, people feel more fulfilled.
That's accurate.
And it's the same thing when I coach football. I'm always asking my kids, hey, during the game or as they're studying film, if you see something, come talk to me. If we can change how we block something, how we do something, or during a game, we've got a timeout and our right guard says, hey, coach, rather than block it this way, let me tell you where that guy's lining up. Let me take him, let the center come around and pick up that linebacker. Okay, kids play harder because they realize this is my team.
They came up with the,
I'm empowered. This is my team.
In it. That's good.
All that comes into influence versus authority. Authority don't tell me what. Don't tell me how to block it. I'm the guy that's been coaching for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's interesting what motivates people.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
That's fascinating. And so like leadership, coaching, and so the family part of that, of influence, how does that work in a family dynamic?
A whole lot of discussion. But the first thing, because I was divorced, I get remarried, and God really let me know, Terry, this is your second chance. You know you blew it the first time being a dad. You blew it as a husband, you blew it as a dad. So then all of a sudden being a father goes way up here on my priority list.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you, you can talk to either one of my daughters and they'll say, "Hi, it doesn't matter what it was that I was getting recognition for or what I was competing in. My dad was always there." See, I was lucky in the fact that by the time they came along, I was into school administration, and it gave me a lot of flexibility to tell the secretary, hey, don't put me down for anything here and here and here because she's competing here or this, and being there number one for everything allows you to then sit down with that child and say, hey, you may think I'm getting on you. I can remember telling my oldest daughter, Kinsey, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
Nobody's a bigger fan of you than me. And she'll tell you this day, that changed everything. Once she really said, you know what, my dad he's in this for me. Doesn't have anything about him. But I tell you, there's a whole bunch of time invested in, let's talk through this thing. Let's talk through this thing. But really instilling in your kids, there is nothing that you can't come and talk to me about. I don't care how ashamed you are. Let me tell you, your dad's probably done it. I probably did it worse than you did. But that's another thing, is admitting to your kids, hey, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. That's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you, because I made these mistakes. And then always being supportive of, okay, so what? We screwed up. Your life's not ruined. You're going to have a bad week, but your life's not ruined. What we got to make sure is we don't go back and ever do that again. All those things, I think, let your kids know, I love you. I am in this for you. And as far as this relationship is concerned, you're the most important. You're
awesome.
the most important. I heard one time a guy talking to young kids, and he says, you've got to understand that your parents have been where you are, but you've never been where they are. You know, understand that. Once you understand, they've been where you are.
Right.
So they've got a frame of reference. It's your first time to walk in through this door.
Right.
I think that helps a lot. And I love being a dad of daughters.
That's awesome.
As a football coach at that time, I thought, I got to have a son. But God only gave me daughters, and I thank him every day for it.
That's awesome. So, leadership and influence. So there's a ring on your finger from Baylor, and that's from 1974. Is that right?
It's old.
So what happened?
Well, actually, this ring isn't old. It represents.
It represents.
Baylor did a real smart thing at the 50th anniversary of that first Southwest Conference championship.
Yeah.
They brought everybody who was still alive back together, and Baylor actually bought these rings and gave everybody new rings.
Oh, wow.
And very quickly, I realized, this is a great marketing scheme. Because you wouldn't believe how many people a day ask me about this ring. Okay, what does it do?
Yeah.
It publicizes Baylor.
Right.
Even though, man, I am a dyed-in-the-wool Red Raider fan. What a great investment for marketing.
Move. Right.
I mean, you've got, I think there were about 100 guys that were still alive that came back, and so you give 100 people something that everyday people ask them about.
Right.
Great marketing stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this was an incredible experience. Again, when I talk about providence and God blessing me in so many ways, I was one of those lucky people that got to go into coaching right after I played in college. I was actually coaching one guy that was 3 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
When I went to Baylor. His nickname was Pops.
Okay.
Everybody called him
There
Pops
you go.
because he was so old. But the great thing was what I learned from this. Very quickly, I will tell you this. This particular team, in the mid-'70s, there were two polls, the AP and the UPI, and they were the top 20. Not top 25, top 20 in the nation. And then for 3 years, there was a negative poll, and it was called the bottom 20 in the nation. And of course, very quickly you understand why it only lasted 3 years, right? But this team started out ranked as the number 14 team in the bottom 20. Meaning that in sports writers' views, we were only better than 6 teams in the whole nation.
Wow.
Okay, we end up ranked in the top 14.
Okay.
Top 20.
Wow.
It's called the Miracle on the Brazos.
Okay.
We had nobody drafted off that team. We had one guy that went to the pros, but he played Canadian football.
Okay.
But what I learned from that is I understood synergy. I mean, I've told coaches for years, quit using that term 110%. I'm going to ask you for 110%. No such thing. All you can ask a kid for is 100%. And I used to tell my teams, I'm going to only ask you for everything you got. But here's the key, scientific, go look it up, go read about it. If all of us give 100%, and your coaches give 100%, and we believe in you, you believe in us, and you believe in your teammates, wow, the sum is greater than the parts.
Right.
And it's this thing called synergy, and miracles can happen.
And that's something. And y'all won the Southwest Conference.
Won the Southwest
during
Conference.
that year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
and
crazy.
You were the quarterback coach, right?
Yes.
During that time.
Yeah, in the running game. Because
Okay.
we were running option,
Gotcha.
and that's what I had run for Coach Tapp at Angelo State playing for him. But then we had a passing coordinator, and he coached the quarterbacks in the passing game. But yeah, it was just. But then teams that I coached, I saw, okay, if I can get synergy, and it takes about 2 years minimum, 3 years maximum to get synergy. And I think that's a lot what's happened at Texas Tech. Everybody wants to blame it on the money, but let me tell you, money, I learned a long time ago, the difference between a good coach and a great coach is, can you coach the prima donna?
Okay. Yep.
He knows he's better than everybody. Everybody on the team knows he's better. Can you coach that kid? Because that kid, you got to say, hey, you never build up yourself. You always take credit for any mistake you made. And you're always encouraging teammates because they will love you 10 times more than they loved you as just your normal self.
That's awesome.
But all that comes into play in creating synergy is, can you get the lowly guy who's barely holding on to his starting position because of his talent, and can you get the prima donna to hug each other and love each other and support each other?
That's powerful.
Then that's where the magic comes, and that extra 10% comes, and now you can talk to your team about, as a team,
110.
I'm asking each of you to give 100%, but at the end of this ballgame, watch what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's what the Aggies call the 12th man and all that stuff. That's what that means.
That's outstanding. There's a book, I'll have to send you a link to it, called Stealing Fire. And it's about this concept of synergy. One of the cited stories in there with some scientific stuff in it talks about the SEAL teams, how they all work together.
Oh, exactly.
And then achieve something that's seemingly impossible.
Yeah, I have read a book, to the original guys who instructed SEAL teams. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of this book. But it talks about how do they go about selecting the teams. And there's 4 quadrants that they use.
Oh, that's great.
And this guy may be the fastest, the strongest, he's the most accurate shooting, all these things. But what's more important is, do you trust him with your wife? Not your life. Do you trust that guy with your wife?
That's amazing. Yep.
And that becomes a more important issue on the selection process than how good they can create military actions.
Man, that's outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trust factor.
Yeah.
And you know, everything we've been talking about is trust. You know, I started teaching my kids early on that trust is the most important thing. You can't love somebody if you don't trust them.
Right.
That trust is everything. That's why your word is so important. When you tell people you'll do something, you do that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be this person, be that person.
Yeah.
Don't say you're that person, but not be that person.
That's integrity, right?
Yes.
So 3 things real quick. First, can we do a part 2?
Absolutely.
All right. There's so much content that we could come into. You're working on a book,
I love
a leadership book. Love to hear more about that, leadership. And then also lots of research, scientific research into that. Second thing is the word discipleship. And
that all falls right into the world of work and mentors.
Mentors.
You know.
Discipline, follow over master.
Discipline, follow over master.
Right. And we'll maybe get into that as well. And then you mentioned godly men.
Godly men.
I remembered that. And
that doesn't mean sinless men. That means men that confess they sin every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah. That's good. Well, we're running out of time.
I've enjoyed every minute.
Part 2.
Okay.
Terry Kinard, guys. And thank you so much.
Oh, it was fun, buddy.
Yeah. Now let's see if this actually worked.